Welcome to The Life of Hair. My name is James Atkinson. Thank you for choosing to join to this week's episode. Now, in this week's episode, we are going to rejoin Sophie Hannah. Now, Sophie Hannah is a vlogger, but she talks about hair. I quite like her channel. And so big thank you to Sophie for making those videos for our entertainment. Now, Sophie, I've done a video about her hair previously, and she went to a hair salon, they broke her hair off, they dyed it orange. If you want to see all about that, go and check it out. But she's about to have her hair fixed after a little while. I think she's had one bleach application. I've not really seen hardly any of these videos. I don't really watch the videos through before I watch them with you guys, because I like to react to what's happening as it's the first time I'm seeing it. But ultimately, you know, she had this very damaged area in her hair that she's got from previous, and obviously she's trying to fix that. But we'll talk a little bit more about fixing hair and stuff like that and what the possibilities are later in the episode. If you enjoy this kind of content, then please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to go and pay Sophie Hannah a visit over on her YouTube channel. Let's get on with today's episode.
Guys, it's that time again. I'm off to get my hair done. So, getting my roots done. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of root growth. I think that's like, it's been six weeks maybe, potentially. And then getting my hair cut. I'm still having a bit of breakage from like this part of the hair, which has been like over processed back like 6 months ago when I went to that other salon. So yeah, so it's still breaking off. I feel like it's just been pushed so far to the extreme, like nothing is just, yeah. It's not gonna recover once it's like completely over processed. That is it. It's just maintaining it, but I just feel like, yeah, some of it cannot be maintained anymore and it's breaking off. So I've got some short bits under here and the fringe bit. It's mainly just this front section. It's very, very weak. So I think I need to stop like using heat and stuff on it.
Okay, two things. First thing, 6 weeks of regrowth and a scalp bleach, where you paint bleach directly onto your scalp, is the optimum amount of time. You cannot leave it longer than that realistically. There's two reasons. The first reason is that if you just then apply bleach to the scalp, you get the heat from the scalp, lifting the hair faster, and then you get like a cold band after that first 1 centimetre, where you're going to get a yellow, not as clean a lift as you did from the colour that was touching your scalp. It's really, really important to remember that it is like 6 weeks, 8 weeks if you're really pushing your luck in terms of having the regrowth done. There are ways around it. There are ways to combat it. There are ways to make it all look good again. But I've got videos about that on my Life of Hair main channel where you can tackle a long bleach regrowth. But there's big problems with overlapping potentially, which can cause breakage, which is some of the reasons as why she's got damage to her hair now. The other thing is obviously it's going to cost more if the stylist is going to have to do like a longer process to correct your hair. Let's talk about the breakage in her hair. Now she's saying it's mainly around the front hair. The front hair is always weaker. It's just a par for the course, okay? You're always going to get more damage around the front. But you cannot repair hair. No matter what company tells you you can repair your hair with KT, you cannot permanently fix your hair. You cannot rebuild disulfide and hydrogen bonds back into the hair. All you can do is temporarily patch and put bonds back in that are not the bonds that were there originally. The only bond that you can get back into the hair is an ionized bond. Now, an ionized bond is a completely different kettle of fish. It's much stronger than a disulfide bond or a hydrogen bond, but it's water soluble, so every time you wash your hair you break it down. Hence why when you have like Olaplex treatments, for example, or use K18 spray treatment when you're colouring your hair, you have to then use the home products to maintain the bond or maintain the strength of the hair that you've then put back in. So you can't make it as strong as it was originally. You can't put the original strength back in. All you can do is put a bandage on it, and if you stop and you take that bandage away, then the hair condition deteriorates again. Realistically, anything we can do to hair that has been damaged like this is cut it off, which is probably what's going to happen. I've seen the end. She does look like she's got a bit of a bob going on. That's going to help her immensely, obviously going forward, to get rid of some of that hair that's really, really damaged. But just two things that are really, really important that a lot of hairdressers don't talk about and a lot of clients don't understand. Okay, on with the episode.
which is hard when you've got like bangs and stuff. So yeah, I don't really know what we're going to do with my hair today. Obviously going to take it shorter, but I don't know what we're going to do about the front bit, whether we're going to do anything or just trim it. But yeah, I feel like it's just not really in a style. Again, it always kind of, well, I don't know, it doesn't look too bad, but I think because I've stopped styling it and just putting it in a ponytail, I feel a bit like meh. I always get to this point, I feel just meh when I'm getting my hair done, and then after I've had my hair done, I always feel amazing. So yeah, after it's done, I mean, it feels great. I did a K18 treatment last night, sorry, just to prep my hair ahead of today, just for extra protection. But yeah.
Good shout. But treating your hair, she obviously does look after her hair because it's her job, but just generally treating your hair over the period of time of which in between your appointments and prior to your appointment is just a good shout. It's really, really a good thing to do. And I highly, highly appreciate clients that do that for me as a stylist, because obviously it evens up the porosity, it makes the colour come out better, it just helps a lot. Whether it's K18, it's Olaplex, it's Joico, it's Goldwell, it's Redken, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're doing one of their protein treatments, and that's what your hair's made of, guys. Primarily the structure of your hair is protein, okay? It's really important to remember that. And so if you're using a nice protein treatment, whether it's, like I say, any of those brands have got their own protein treatment, it's really, really important to do that. It helps us immensely. It helps you immensely if you're colouring your hair intensively and you're using heat a lot.
We're off to the salon.
Okay, so let's talk about what they're doing here. They're obviously spraying K18, it looks like, over her hair there. Then they've got this root spray, and I actually don't know what that root spray is. It looks very interesting, but look how meticulous they're being with this bleach application. Rightly so. Obviously, they're very aware that she's got damage in her hair, and they're very worried about that damage. And one thing I will say is that if someone came in with a very damaged hairline like this, or just damaged hair in general, I would probably leave out that first centimetre or so, maybe even an inch of that hairline till last. The very, very last thing I would do is that hairline, because it does take quicker. The hair around your hairline is usually lighter, and it really does make a difference to leave it on to that last minute or two, just to get the job done a little bit easier. But I'm sure this will turn out fine. It's just something that I like to do, and something that's really worth thinking about when you are bleaching someone's hair that is damaged. Leaving out that front hairline can be a godsend. It looks like it's lifting nicely, so I'm sure that it's going to come out an absolute treat. But when you're managing somebody's hair with a lot of damage, you do have to be really, really mindful. Onto the toning phase. They're toning the mid-lengths first, or that mid-band. Maybe they're trying to lighten out that little mid-band. I'm not really sure what their game plan is there. It doesn't really say. The roots haven't lifted that light. They're quite yellowy still. So I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here. One of the things about Sophie's hair is that it's very, very dark. It's probably in the realms of a level 4, but it's hard to say in the light, obviously, of this camera. For me, though, it's one of those very, very tricky things to do when you are trying to, manage someone's hair that's 1, very dark, 2, very coloured, 3, very damaged. This is very difficult to do. So amen to these guys for taking the job on in the first place, and obviously they're doing all their due diligence to try and protect Sophie's hair in every which way they can. Their diffuser styling it, obviously, here, and that's obviously a really good way of not putting excessive amounts of heat onto the hair. So let's hear what Sophie says about it now.
Guys, I'm home and this is my new hair. It looks weird in this light and on this camera.
That is one thing that I think is just one clients overlook completely. In every different light, your hair color will look different, especially if you're blonde, because let's say the lighting's very warm, and on camera it's even, you've got the cameras predicting the colours, which, you know, is a whole different story. But, you know, lots of people come and say, oh, I look terrible in a photo. My hair looks so yellow in a photo. And then they want you to do their hair even cooler than it already is. And the hair's already really cool. It's really, really difficult. It's really, really difficult sometimes. You know, it can be down to the camera. It can be down to the lighting. It can be inside, outside, bathroom, bedroom, wherever it is. So remember, if you want to see what your hair looks like, go outside with a mirror, hold the mirror up and look at your hair in natural daylight. That is a true representation of your hair color. That will show up exactly what color it is to the human eye. What it looks like in every different room in your house, well, that you can't do anything about that. Okay.
It looks a bit orangey, but it's not at all. It's like a really nice, like ashy. That looks a bit better from that angle. Looks very odd in different lights, but yeah. Got a French bob with a fringe. Not sure how I feel about it. I feel like it's going to take some getting used to. But it needed to be done. Basically, I've still got hair breaking off from the damage that was like done last year in June. And it's basically, I'm just trying to cut it off. So she cut a lot of it off today. And eventually, I will get my hair to a point where it's only just been bleached by this one woman and she knows exactly what's been on my hair, and yeah, she's taking like a really good care of it and only lifts it to like a certain point. She doesn't push it too far.
Interesting what she's saying there. She's now going to stick with this one hairdresser. Fantastic. She's not sure about the bob. I really like it, actually. I think it really suits her. She's already had a bob pretty much anyway. She's, you know, got the fringe thing going on, but yeah, I think it looks fantastic. When she was saying she won't lift it too far, that's obviously why she went only to a level 9 on the root area there. That's what was so yellow. So there's obviously something behind that. You know, there's something, you know, in the process and thoughts of this stylist, which is very, very sensible indeed to, you know, make sure that you do not over-process the hair further. I don't think that Sophie will stick with that though, because every video I've ever seen previously, her hair's like platinum. So you're going to have to push her hair to the, you know, I mean, unless she's going to change her whole tact. But I'm sure this will do for now, you know, because this is still got a lot of that old level 10 hair on the ends. But as that level 9 root grows down, it's going to start to look warmer and darker. And you can tell she doesn't like warmth just by what she was saying in the early part of this clip.
But yeah, looks really, really good. Ready to be dyed a new colour next week, which you'll have to wait and see what colour I'm going to go. Or did I already tell you already? You'll have to wait and see. I don't think I told you. If I did, I'm definitely going to cut that out. Leave it as a surprise. But yeah, feels fresh, feels really nice, feels thick again. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to get used to this fringe. But yeah, it needed to be done. I can still part it in the middle, to be fair, and have kind of like, that's quite cute. I quite like that actually, like a bit of fringe, but it's parted. That's cute. So yeah, I just need to like play around with it really, but I can wear it as a full fringe if I want to, and it's nice and wispy, it's not too full. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
Well, there we have it, all done and dusted. And this is the thing, with all of the money in the world, with all of the time in the world, you cannot make your hair repair quicker than it will grow out of your head, basically. If your hair's been damaged to that point, unfortunately, you are too on the same journey that Sophie is on. You will not be alone. There is loads of you out there. I get emails, messages every single week of people who have had their hair damaged. We are pushing hair further than we've ever pushed it in history, because we are seeing pictures on social media of people with hair that is not like ours, like me deciding that I wanted to have white hair, a ridiculous idea, you know, because I would have to push my hair to the boundaries of extinction. And basically my hair and Sophie's hair are not massively dissimilar in colour. In fact, Sophie's hair might even be a fraction darker than mine. And of course, that's really taking it to the edge, you know, and if you're going to take it to the edge, you have to be aware that sometimes it's going to fall over, it's going to trip over the edge. And that might not just be the hairdresser's fault either. That might be the fact that you are taking the hair that far. And it's the hairdresser's job to inform you of such a thing, but it's not necessarily their fault entirely. How she ended up like this, you don't see the process of being done. You see some of the process, but I can only surmise as to what had happened because of how it turned out. Check out the video, like I mentioned previously. But look, Sophie's hair looks great. So 10 out of 10. It's all done. She's going to colour it again next week. We might go and see that hair colour. We might go and see what that turns out to be like. Who knows? If you like this kind of episode, if you're enjoying it, let me know down in the comment section and I'll keep making them. See you again in the next one.